it's gone across to the middle of the ground. Through Stewart, through Treaster, through Ferris. Campbell will score! Campbell scores! His second try of the day.
Did very, very well. Well, let's just have a look how the Bulldogs regroup. They go wide. We freeze it there. Look at this man from the Bulldogs. Second in from the outside. Look how he's braced up. And if they can get the ball in behind the line, as they do with the pass, as play continues, they take advantage of that hole. Preston Campbell ran into the hole.
I'll start with you, Francis. Do you think it's possible that he's distracted, or do we have to expect him to be a professional and we should be not factoring that as a problem?
No, I think when they're at that stage where they're on the edge of trying to get a head job, they can get a bit distracted. But you'd like to think they'd be professional, but I think in the story of life you do get a bit distracted and focus on what you want for yourself, and you can fade away a little bit. I've seen it in our profession where I've had several people who are excellent at their job and they want to evolve out of our practice and start their own, and you can see it sometimes that their concentration and effort fades a little bit. But I haven't heard anything specifically about Josh, but it is possible, yeah.
Oh, lads, I'm just laughing because I know what you're laughing about.
You're killing me, Boldo.
Oh, it's taken over, mate. Yeah, lads, how many head jobs have you concentrated on getting, lads?
Well, I always find it distracting myself also, so I'll stay out of this one, mate.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, look, I think there's a good faux pas there of yours, Francis.
With the Brisbane team scoring through some guy called Wayne Carr and Mal Meninga in the goal. That team also had...
Is that actually his name?
So, Wayne Carr, correct. Wayne Carr. Oh, sorry, Norm Carr. There's another play called Wayne Carr, but Norm Carr. Right. Sorry, Norm. Norm
We
Carr.
know who the Wayne Carr is now.
Yeah. Anyway, Gary.
Out of trouble. Tough mood is going. Townsend again. Early ball for Bird, and now Valentine Holmes. Palms off Selwood. Holmes in the clear. No one's going to get close to Valentine Holmes. He's going to charge away. Valentine Holmes will score under the sticks.
In amongst all of that, Lats had an awesome story about how awesome this Finau guy was, and then Boldo concludes it with like, yeah, Finucane, how good is he? And everyone goes,
I don't even know who Finau
Wow.
is. I just assumed that Finau was the same guy as Finucane. Is that a different person? I didn't know that. Who the hell's Finau?
Wow.
This is how flawed the teas are. He doesn't even know how to say.
Boldo.
This is where the tears bit comes into it.
I'm listening to the card going, did my stream just like skip 30 seconds or something? Like, no, it was just Boldo just playing along. But anyway.
Well off. No gesture from him. It indicates that he lost it cold, and he knows that he did.
So Wayne Bennett's words of no mistakes all to no avail at this stage. That's the second time they've had the football Brisbane. Their second mistake. I'm just handing over possession to Cronulla in good field position now, right on the halfway line.
Eddinghausen and Green laying it on. Peachy's into the face. They're not going to get him. The young fullback scores for the Sharks.
There's the run around. They sent one player through. That took Steve Renouf out of play. Willie Kahn took his man. And all of a sudden David Peachy had doubled around and ran into a yawning gap. Perfectly executed. Beautifully constructed. So hard to defend against.
It's gone away there from Cronk to give it out wide. Here's Corometti. He's got them turning around. It's now with Vunivalu. Vunivalu, the season's top try scorer, got the ball away. Bromwich to Smith. Smith to Hampton. Hampton, can he find a gap? He gets the ball away. It's to Smith. Smith gets it away to Cronk. Cronk's got Corometti with him. Have they got a chance here? Corometti's put down. The siren sounds. Cronulla have won it. Cronulla have won it. 14 to 12. You can turn the light out now.
For over 50 years, people have come to see the Sharks play. talent, skill, speed, intelligence, elite level athleticism. That's not these guys. Biased, one-eyed, opinionated, more often wrong than right. They make up for their complete lack of talent with pure dribble, gibberish, and enthusiasm. This is the ET Stand Podcast.
Summer ends early this year with round one teams announced today. With it comes all the work of a season kickoff proper, and two of our hosts have left us to do all the hard work while they chase the dazzling lights of Vegas. Welcome to the ET Stand, the Sharks fans podcast where we let our talking do the football. We are in all the usual places: YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you guys want us to be. If we aren't there, let us know and we'll try to get there. While listening, don't forget to like and subscribe. Our new AI overlords will thank you for it. We've also hijacked a Discord channel where Sharks fans can chat 24/7 about Sharks and any other malarkey you feel you need to. The link will be popped into the chat and we'll certainly drop it down in the description below the video. Joining me on the panel tonight is, well, let me start by saying who won't be joining me on the panel. Boldo and Kelly are off to fly the ET Stand banner in the City of Sin. Hopefully, they don't have any inflatable bats with them and they keep our impeccably high standards in mind. Who wasn't lucky enough to join us is Williams with the excuse of work, likely, and Lats with the excuse of work, unlikely. Also joining us is you, the listeners. Thank you so much for joining us. We've got a great show coming up. We'll have Lats go through the socials. We'll double check how everyone is feeling after the Hall of Fame evening. We preview the round one match in Vegas, and we provide our crystal ball predictions for the season. Finally, we have Tim from the Sharkcage to run us through what this new supporters group is all about. But before we get into any of that, Lats, would you have gone to Vegas if you could? Do you think you would have done any damage?
Oh, mate, I would have done probably a bit more damage than Hudson Young, I reckon. Yeah, I don't know. I know my wallet would have done a bit of damage, I would have done a bit of damage to my wallet. But, yeah, mate, I was close. Couldn't get there, couldn't get over the final hurdle, couldn't get the time off. But I'll be there in spirit, mate. Chris Kelly will represent for me anyway.
Very good. Williams, would you have gone, mate?
I've been to Vegas once in 3 days. Was pretty intense back in 2010. It's a long way for a home game. I think for a final, yes, a home game. Not a home game, a regular season game, maybe not. Although, yeah, if someone else is paying, I think it'd be difficult to say no.
Yeah, it certainly would have been an experience.
Would you have gone?
Flights and expenses paid. You know what? Maybe.
Yeah. Get in the junket that the rest of the NRL has.
That the rest of the NRL has, and you know, I think Boldo has managed to get some kind of kickback there from some mobster in Vegas, welcome him back with open arms. I'm not sure, but yeah, look, how often are you going to be able to see the Sharks in Vegas? This is probably a once-off affair. It would have been really good to go, but you know what? It's funny because I don't like going to Homebush. So if I'm too entrenched in my ways to not go to Homebush, how am I going to get to Vegas?
Well, Andrew Abdo on the James Graham podcast did say that a magic round of sorts. James Graham pitched the idea and said after 4 years, you got 16 teams have a crack. For your fifth year, you throw everyone over there. And that was James Graham pitching it. Andrew Abdo was open to the idea. So there may be an opportunity, but I'd imagine if that was the case, flights and hotels would be that much more expensive.
Yeah, but it'd also be that much more worth it. You know, that's not a bad idea. That's certainly a lot of outlay from the NRL themselves, though, to try and get everyone over there and get up and about. I think I saw from the Sharks, just players alone, I think we've got 20 players over there. So it's almost the full squad over in Vegas. And then you've got coaches, administration, media. So there's a lot to go. So
We'd be mad not to. You got to send, like, logistically, it's not like you just bring a guy out of Newtown or you say, hey, come across to Shark Park to fill in or fly down to Melbourne or Brisbane because Nico's in doubt. You got to send everyone over.
pretty much, yeah. Anyone who's not injured, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Now, let's hit the socials, because round one, there's got to be lots out there, right? There's got to be a lot of stuff popping up. There's got to be keeping you on your toes there, Lats.
There's
You
a
want
fair
to
bit,
go through this, mate?
Yeah, let's kick it. All right.
All right. Let's do this.
The Sharks have been seen out and about spending time in downtown Los Angeles before making the trip to Nevada to prepare for this week's season opener against the reigning Premiers. The lads have been snapped with their very own star on the Walk of Fame. They've been snapped at the LAFD fire station where they got to go for a cruise in the trucks and try on all the gear. They're also hosted by ex-NFL star Todd Gurley at Venice Beach and even snuck in a field session at the University of Southern California. Thanks to the club for keeping us up to date in the socials with all these snaps of the team shenanigans. And I believe the team arrived in Vegas yesterday to begin prepping for Saturday night's game against Penrith. Alrighty. Mate, the extremely unfortunate news broke through the week that Shark superstar winger and exceptional finisher Sione Katoa has been sidelined for an extended period of time after having to undergo a full shoulder reconstruction after the first trial game against the Wars. I believe Sione's already gone under the knife. Absolutely devastating for him, having to miss the Vegas trip. And he looks to be sidelined for up to possibly 5 months whilst recovering. It gives young Sam Stonestreet his opportunity to really show us what he can do in the top grade, and hopefully the club are able to lock him into a new contract for a couple more years before other teams see what he is capable of and come knocking. Look, we here at the ET Stand podcast would like to wish Sione all the best for a speedy recovery, and we hope to see him out on the field in the not too distant future. Alrighty, the Sharks NRLW squad have added to their stocks during the week with the appointment of Cook Island international Shante Kiria-Ratu from the Titans on a 3-year deal. The 20-year-old playmaker will be fighting it out for a spot in the halves, and after having a standout year in 2023 where she helped the team reach the grand final and claim Rookie of the Year award. Only to be sidelined in 2024 with a knee injury. She's out with a point to prove and is a massive chance of earning a halves call-up. In an interview with Sharks media, Shante stated that she's excited for a fresh start with a new team under coach Tony Herman and that her goal is to win a comp. And given that she signed them for 3 years, she's a real chance of achieving that. So welcome to the Shire, Shante. Local Liberal MPs Simon Kennedy and Jenny Ware visited the club and have pledged a $4 million boost to the club, which will be fully matched by the Sharks to upgrade the women's change room facilities. However, there is a catch. It's only if the coalition win the election. This has divided fans across the socials, with many wanting to know why it hasn't already been done, and also why it's just the change room facilities and not the whole ground, as that we all know it's in dire need of upgrade. Simon came out in the socials and stated it's been signed off by Peter Dutton and Angus Taylor, and all they need to do is have them both become PM and Treasurer, and it'll be delivered. He's also stated that the funding will spill into the media room, other areas of the stadium. Look, it's a start. We're going to need a hell of a lot more money than that to get Shark Stadium where it needs to be, though, boys.
Pretty sure the Southern Stand, this is a long time ago, we're talking 2007, 2008, the Southern Stand back then cost $10 million. So $8 million clearly doesn't go very far if you're getting a few fancy toilets and showers.
Well,
where are they putting them?
I think we were given 10 million.
More funding
and then
required.
There was more money required, and I think there was some sort of shenanigans where we weren't allowed to use the interest accrued from that 10 million while we weren't spending it.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure it ended up costing more than 10 million, but yes, that was the figure given. But I agree with you, mate. It's certainly things are getting more expensive.
Not that we're a political show and I have zero political interest, but what's his federal Liberal, very safe seat. Surely that's a guarantee, I suppose. We've got $8 million to spend on this. Bring it.
Wow.
Bring more, please.
The Liberals need to win the election first. They might win the seat, but they might not win the election.
Yeah, true that.
Alrighty, Sharkies NRLW superstar Anessa Biddle has been crowned the 2024 New Zealand Rugby League Women's Player of the Year. After a stellar season at both club and international level, Kiwi Ferns head coach Ricky Henry said Inessa's commitment to a trade, her dedication, belief and discipline have made her an absolute weapon and star of the women's game. And we here at the ET Stand podcast couldn't agree more and would like to congratulate Inessa on such an amazing achievement. And finally, boys, through the week, big Oregon Kafusi has put pen to paper, inking a fresh new 2-year deal that sees him with Sharks through to the end of the 2027 season. I love this signing, as did all the fans across the socials. He's grown into a really reliable workhorse over the last couple of seasons. And with this extension, the Sharkies engine room looks solid and full of depth for seasons to come.
Big change, given that he was on a, I suppose, essentially unsigned option that could have walked away from it, I think, even after the finals had finished. That was only taken up, in September last year for this year, and then they've extended even further. Good get, but it was funny. He was essentially unsigned only a few months ago.
Yeah, I think that was one of those scenarios where, the mutual option is very murky. It's a little bit of an unknown on how people will react to that one. There's normally one person in a stronger position than the other. But I think basically what would have happened there was that both parties were like, yep, we want to continue. We just need to come up with a number. And don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but what probably happened is they said, yep, well, let's just sign a 1-year deal and then we'll work out something longer and we'll spread the money across this year and the next 2 years. So it's technically a 3-year deal. But by doing that, they sort of kept the Wolves at bay a little bit and signed an intention to keep him.
Good get.
Great signing.
I think we have to give Kelly the props there for calling out that he is on the up and up when a few people were sort of saying, oh, he's a bit iffy, and he had a bang out season last year, so that was really good.
Yeah, look at his first season. People are like, why'd we sign him? But a lot of factors involved there. Kelly did pick it very nicely back at the start of last year from the preseason, and he had a big year. So good on him. Keep it up.
Yeah, it was well done. Well, good job, lads. We've got Maz here, Maz Dad, who I believe is someone we know. He says Franko struggles for home games. Well, I don't know about home games, but certainly away games, and I don't think there's any away game as far as Vegas. And then in relation to you, lads, he says you'd be broke by day one or rich as by day one. So I don't know, is that a red or black scenario?
Why not both?
And it comes up 0.
Yeah.
Or 00.
Brilliant. Now, not covered in your socials there, Lats, was the Hall of Fame, which the Sharks have now done a tremendous job uploading content for all the people who weren't able to attend, including speeches, interviews, and various clips. We were there doing our part with a live broadcast. If you missed it, go back and have a listen. It's more of an adjacent coverage where we get up to our usual hijinks, but still we had a lot of fun and hopefully that comes through. Now, Lats, you were there early to help with setup. What was the day like for you with the build-up and everything going on and you being amongst it?
Well, apart from being ordered around by host David Bolderman for most of the day, I
Creator.
thought I was going there to have a bit of a break from copying that treatment at home, only for it to be a bit more harsher, to be honest. But no, look, it was awesome. We got to see. We were looking at it when we first got there. We got there about 11 o'clock in the morning. Parked in the players' parking, was fantastic. Straight into the lift up to our box, and didn't look like much had been set up. Half the floor was there. The carpet was still in the rolls, and when Boldo and I were like, oh, this is going to go down to the wire. And out of nowhere, it just all happened, and it looked magic. The day was great. We got to see the rehearsals, speak to various people down there at Sharks, and have a chat about the night and how excited everyone was for it. And it was just an awesome day, awesome experience, great night, and thoroughly enjoyed it, mate.
Yeah, awesome. And then, Williams, you were the opposite. You were there late. What was it like turning up and seeing everything in full swing?
Johnny come lately. So, yeah, I was listening whilst cruising down the M7, M5. I was listening to your coverage for the first 40-odd minutes or so and then swanned on in. And, yeah, wow, it was quite a setup, which I hope comes through in the Sharks media coverage. Speaking of those that missed the speeches, we were some of those people. But I I suppose hopefully they do it again, not too soon, but it will happen again sometime down the track. I think a great venue for it. I think that ideally, hopefully next time around they have it, the Leagues Club's finished, and they'll probably have it inside and it won't be as open to the public. But if the opportunity does come up again and you're a Sharks fan, or you got even a passing interest in the club and the history, get down there. It was fantastic. And shout out to Sam Shinazi and his coverage of it. They mentioned that the weather, there was not really much of a backup plan apart from another venue in the Shire, which would have pretty much locked out a lot of the public, unfortunately. So good that I think probably the first and only time ever that we've relied on weather at Shark Park, and it's come up trumps.
Yeah. And were there any highlights for you lads?
Mate, just the whole experience, really. Getting to see all the players together, the current playing group with the older playing group, and just seeing everyone mingle. Getting to catch up with everyone like after it was amazing. Just the whole experience. They did such a good job down there at Sharks. They should be really proud of themselves. And the club's heading in a really good direction, not only with like sponsorship, marketing, just everything. We just seem to be a much more professional outfit, and you can tell this meant so much to the past players. And it was awesome. It was a really cool experience.
Yeah, it was brilliant, absolutely. So thanks very much to Dino and the Sharks for letting us participate and making us feel welcome. It was really good. We did manage to get a bunch of interviews on the night, which should be getting uploaded into our socials, such as Instagram, over the next few weeks. So if you aren't following us there, get on board and keep an eye out and you'll see them. I was bumped from being the interviewer, so not me, but it will be Boldo, and he tells us he's got some cracking interviews lined up for us, so it'll be really good to check that out. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to do this. We need to get our team list up. And why do we need to get our team list up? Because we're talking Vegas. Now, the round one Vegas clash with the Panthers is upon us. This match preview is brought to us by Miranda Hotel. If you're looking for a great place to watch the Sharks match this weekend, get down to Miranda Hotel. They're showing the match live and loud from 3:30 p.m. Beforehand, they're showing the Cape versus Alambayev, the UFC fight from 11 a.m. So you can book a table there on their website at mirandahotel.com.au. Get amongst the atmosphere, try and build up that Vegas style event scenario, but back here in the Shire. That seems to be the place to go, I reckon. Maybe I'll go there instead of Vegas. Certainly going to be a bit cheaper for us.
I'll tell you what though too, Franco, I don't know if you boys have been up to try the bistro by Bolton there. Sensational feed, mate. Plenty of specials on through the week. They've got lunch specials, $15 from 11:30 to 3 p.m. Monday to Friday. Plethora of choices. Kids menu. They've got everything, mate, and it's a really good feed. So everyone out there, go up and try Bistro by Bolton.
Awesome. Good work. All right. So
Is
the
Carmen
team
still
list.
a thing?
Mate, is Carmen's still a thing? Carmen's will always be a thing. Please.
Carmen's. Very good.
Dear, oh dear.
All right, now the team list, guys. Round one, here we go. So there is not a lot of surprises here, I think we'll find. We've got in fullback William Kennedy, Sam Stonestreet, Jesse Ramian, Kale Iro, and Ronaldo Mulatalo rounding out the backs. In the halves, we've got Braden Trindle in 6 and Nico Hines in 7, despite what the press would have you believe in trying to hammer that home that the numbers would swap. Aden Fanua-Blake making his debut in jersey number 8. Blake Brayley, Oregon Kafusi rounding out the front row. Britton Nakora and Teague Wilton in the back row with Cam McInnes captaining at lock. On the bench at 14, we've got Daniel Atkinson. We'll talk about that. We've also then got Siosifa Talakai, Braden Hamanueli, and Tom Hazelton, coached by Craig Fitzgibbon. Bit of an interesting team. Like I said, I don't think there were many surprises there for many Sharks fans. Probably what we're expecting to see, especially with the late news of Katoa's injury. So Sam Stonestreet's a straight swap. I think we here on the ET podcast have certainly spoken about the bench makeup. and whether or not Daniel Atkinson is in or out. In this scenario, he's in. Is that a good thing or a bad thing, Williams?
I am actually looking to the extended bench. They've got Tuko Haitapua, who played a lot of minutes in the trials. I think obviously Atkinson's there as coverage, but wouldn't surprise me if there's a change before kickoff, unless of course Atkinson's going to be used. Yeah, does he come off the bench if we have no injuries? I'd argue probably not. Hamlin Willet's form was okay in the trials, but didn't set the world on fire. So yeah, we'll see. I think they're hedging their bets.
Yeah, all right. I think, like you said, with Rudolph coming back, we've certainly got a surplus of boppers. Tuku Tapua able to jump on the bench as well. It's going to be tightly contested to see who can get on there. Lats, is there anything that jumps out for you here, mate?
No, mate. It's pretty much the team we were expecting. Yeah, look, I don't mind having Atkinson there if something happens. You can play in many positions. Good to see Stone Street get a run. Unfortunately, it was at the detriment of Sione Katoa for most of the season. But I'm looking forward to see Braden Hamlin-Uele going back to him. I think with Fanua Blake there, I think leading from the front, I think we'll see a lot more of him this year and a lot more of what he can do.
Okay, all right. Up against the Panthers. In big news, Brian To'o is out. So we don't have to deal with him. Bad news is we still have to deal with the Panthers. So there's a lot of good players, a lot of heavy hitters in their team, even with the bite from the salary cap. The Panthers team lines up with Dylan Edwards, Casey McLean, Isaac Tago, Luke Garner, Paul Alamotti, Jake Cole, Nathan Cleary, Moses Leota, Mitch Kenny, Lindsay Smith, Scott Sorensen, Liam Martin, Isaiah Yeo, Dane Laurie, Isaiah Papali'i, Matt Eisenhuth, and Lauren Pate, coached by Ivan Cleary. Obviously, I didn't do as good a job as Kelly. He is our resident team caller, but hopefully I didn't do too bad a job.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, he's got the pronunciations. The big signing of, was it Talangi from the Eels, is on the extended bench, not in the side. And there was talk of him maybe partnering Cleary in the halves or playing in the centres, or being coverage for Edwards at fullback, and he hasn't even made the top 17. That looks like a all forward bench. So, pardon my ignorance, I don't know much about or Dane Laurie. There's a different Dane Laurie.
Diane Laurie.
Diane Laurie. Diane. The great Diane Laurie. Thank you for
his mum.
The slide maker.
I would like to blame Boldo for that one, even though I said he didn't do any work and is a lister. But
I saw it was an incorrect spelling of Teague, and I think maybe even incorrect spelling of Adden as well. Oh, actually, it is a double D. But it's always a good side, the Panthers. And always going to be very difficult. Their short price favourite. Just another reason to dislike Brandy Alexander. He said on SCN yesterday morning that he would put $1,000 on the Panthers. He's obviously very confident. So he's not paying. Usually this time of year you hear the Panthers and Cleary and everyone associated with the Panthers. Oh no, we're not favourites here. Obviously they're going into this very confident. He's a board member. He thinks they're an absolute certainty.
So I guess on that, we've got Nathan Cleary coming back from basically the same surgery that Katoa is about to undergo.
Dylan Edwards as well. Also
Dylan Edwards as well. Yep. And that's not a light surgery. Obviously, 5 months out. We've got in Katoa's scenario, I think he gets back in round 19 or 20, so it's a big chunk of the season. Not a full off season for them because they'd be on restricted duties, and they're listed in round 1. If this wasn't a Vegas game, lads, do you reckon they're named, or do you reckon they sit out for a week or two?
Yeah, no. Yeah, they might sit out for a week or two, to be honest. The biggest surprise for me in this team, mate, you look at this team and you forget how good the Panthers are across the park. Like you hear, they've lost Luai, they've lost Taruva. And I'm like, they're no chance. And then you look at them and you're like, I forgot how strong they were. the biggest surprise for me is Blaze Talangi out, and especially with the news that To'o was out, I thought he'd be a straight-in startup player. So it's an interesting one that Cleary's gone for here, but it is a very tough team. It is a very tough team to beat, and I forgot how strong they were across the park. I'm just still having nightmares with Paul Alamotti from that match last year in the finals, just running right over us at the end there, and it's surprising.
They continued to deliver. Obviously, there was the horror home loss to them where they looked pretty similar. I think Cleary was out, but Luai was playing, and we'll look at them going, oh, yeah, we should have them covered here, given the dare I say it, streak that we were on, and they just absolutely bashed us, and they continued to do that. So it's going to be tough again. It's a really good question, Franko. I think that there's every chance they wouldn't play if it was back home, but being such a big match, they would hit the ground running. It'll be interesting to see how they go this year. Though they don't have that Luai coverage for Cleary. Hasn't played many games at all over the last few years with injury troubles. I don't think they have the same depth in the halves that they previously had. But if Cleary has I suppose a full strength all match, no injury affected, only a bit of origin outage here and there season, they're every chance of going whatever it is now, 5.
Losing count.
As Boldo,
Yeah.
as Boldo likes to regularly tell us that Luai is the best player in the competition. He has the highest win percentage, and he was the glue that held that team together with Cleary's injury last year.
Yeah,
and he had
absolutely.
They are going to miss him. There's no doubt about that. But you can't write off Nathan Cleary. Even an injured Nathan Cleary, you can't write off. Look at that grand final where against Brisbane.
The last few years, he's had massive, over the year before last, he had the big suspension for the send-off, and just swans on into the team a couple of weeks out from the finals and leads them all the way. Last year, same thing, missed, I think, had that hamstring injury, was out for ages, then comes back in round 22, whatever it was, and then off they go. It's just ridiculous.
Even the depth, I think, at the Panthers is something you can't write off as well, right? I know you mentioned there, Williams, that with the players they've lost, it's going to test that depth. Well, I think it goes without saying that the Panthers basically have the best depth in the comp.
Where, on the flip side, losing Katoa, we didn't get a chance to talk to it before and realise how serious it was. I am massively devastated. I think it's a great opportunity for Sam Stone Street to I suppose, put his mark on the spot. And there's a lot of, there's other podcasts out there. There's some of our fans, 2.0. I'm looking at you saying he should have replaced Katoa as it was, but I just don't think so. He doesn't provide the meters out of our own end that Katoa provided, that experience. He's going to be great, but there's a long way to go. And I'm worried about our depth in the centres, bizarrely. I think not the centres, the wings. I'm happy with our depth in the centres. Obviously, you got Ison at fullback, but the wing position seems to be a bit skinny, pardon my ignorance. But it does seem like we don't have much by way of next man up there, and we're already kind of looking a bit skinny there. Stone Street and Mulatalo are great, but Mulatalo especially can find their way around an injury. And it's wingers, or the position of winger has shown that it's a lot more than just guys who hang around with footballers these days. You need quality wingers, and if we don't have that could bring us undone pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a different setup if either of those guys go down, but I think we've got experience ready to go in Hiroti. I think he's going to come in, and we've seen that he can do a job in both, plenty of positions actually, but certainly on the wing. I don't think we would be at a loss for him. We might lose some of that punch that we get out of our starters, but he's certainly got a lot of talent. And then Dixon was pretty impressive through the trials, I thought, for a young junior. If we're willing to throw caution to the wind and give someone a debut match, I think with an injury in the wings, that could be on the cards as well. He got plenty of time in there as well in those trials.
Dixon a bit be the guy. I'm not sure about Chris Vale. Looked great, as Michael Gabriel did as well, but I'm not sure. They seemed more like out and out centres. I don't know how good they'd be at covering wing, as we saw Kale Rowe out and out centre, played first grade debut on the wing, and everyone's like, who's this guy? He's terrible. So we've got to be really wary of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Now, funny thing about this Vegas pitch, I don't know how many people are aware of this, but it's smaller than a regular football field. Who's that going to impact the most? They're shorter and thinner.
Tell you what, I'm glad David Peachy's not playing because that dead ball line's a lot closer.
It come up on him quick. They were saying last year, and this is, I think it was Gus or someone talking the other day on one of those shows, that there was no impact on the points last year. Just seemed to, for whatever reason, teams were still able to find room around the ruck, and then also be able to stretch a few teams and spread it wide. Especially that first match, the South Manly game, there was heaps of points. Where it tightened up a bit in the Broncos Roosters game. It'll be interesting to see.
Sorry, mate. They did play the field at that smaller size for that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just for the Warriors Sharks game, was it, or the
Raiders
game.
Or
the trials?
The Raiders game. They played, and we were still able to move the ball around a bit there. It's a really good question. Ben Panthers for years have been able to stifle teams with their forward pack. So you'd argue on a more compressed field they'd just be more suffocating. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Is Nathan Cleary so heavily drilled in his kick placement that he drops one a bit long or a bit wide? Is that false hope?
That 40-20 he put in the prelim final against us, if he did that on the football field on this size pitch, he'd put it about a metre out on the full. So hopefully that occurs here with the narrower touch lines. And the dead ball, the in goals are the same size, I think, are they? Or they're just a tiny bit small? We're not talking like Olympic Park, Melbourne, old school, like 6 metre in goals. I think they're similar size, but the pitch itself is shorter. It's only about 91 metres, and it's only what a conventional league field's about 75 or 78 metres, 80 odd metres wide, and this one's only, I'm speculating here, 60 odd metres wide. So.
Now, I'm not sure if Williams 2.0 and Sonia are in cahoots, but we've got from them cometh the hour, cometh the goat, and it is the year of the Goat Street. So they're certainly excited to see him get a run and string some games together. It's going to definitely be an interesting month, at least, of football for Stone Street to see how he settles in and all that chatter about his contract status, given that he is available to be signed by other teams. Are we worried about that?
I think he's committed. I think it might be one of those. I'm hoping anyway that it's one of those things where it's like, hey, just give us a bit of time. We'll work out a deal. You're happy being here. We'll work it out.
Local junior. So, he's not going to want to go anywhere.
I reckon you guys are spot on. Well, I can't wait. I think this should be an experience, if nothing else, a novelty we'll be talking about for years to come. Playing in Vegas, I think we've sort of said this last year, under previous administration and management, we probably would have never got an opportunity to be, not in the first year, certainly not in the second year, maybe never.
I'd argue not at all. About 10 years ago would have been a not at all proposition.
So to be included and to be one of the first couple of teams to get over there, I think it's a real flag for us to just wave in the air and get the brand out there and show the rest of the NRL what we're made of.
Do you want me to give it? I've done a tiny bit of research on our record against the Panthers at neutral venues. If I can give you a tiny bit of history. So it's our 102nd meeting in premiership matches. We've won 52, the Panthers 46, 3 draws in 79, 84 and 98. But we've had neutral matches back in 1978 at the SCG, 7-all at halftime. It blew out to a 35-9 win to the good guys. Carrington Park in Bathurst 2014. I'm hoping to do a Chronicles episode this week on that. It'll be a quick one. I was there. The table-topping Panthers were playing the last place Sharks, and the good guys won 18 points to 16. Poor Michael Gordon had a horror day with the boot. We scored 4 tries in that one and only amassed 18 points, but we got a win. Obviously, 2018, Allianz Stadium. I was there with you, Franko. There may have been a good night afterwards, despite the 18-2 halftime lead, finishing in a 21-20 win with a Chad Townsend toe-poked field goal. And then the last meeting was the last meeting between the two sides at Accor Stadium, a 26-6 win to the Panthers. So 3-1 there, Sharks at neutral venues, while our last win was in round 14, 2021, Cogra Oval, Sharks 19, Panthers. They were origin affected 18. Who kicked the field goal that night? COVID was raging. There was only 4,000 people at Cogra.
Who kicked the field
It was a
goal?
cold, wet night. Earlier that evening, Matt Moylan's hamstring somehow survived a length or about 70-metre effort to score under the posts. I think all of us thought that he would break down. It was
We're
running in slow
riding him
motion.
home, that's for sure.
Yeah, so that was early on, but
I don't know, mate. I'm a blank.
Lats, he's been.
I've got no idea,
He
mate.
was very topical at the end of the season, and Harley has just nailed it. We'll put that up here.
SJ.
SJ, Sean Johnson. Probably he's. I don't know. I'm just going off the top of my head. I think he's only field goal for the club.
Mhm. Very good.
Good stuff.
All right. Well, I think with that, we should move on. Round 1, that's coming. It's about to be done. We've got a whole season ahead of us. So last year, we threw out a bunch of predictions. Some were good, some were bad, some get egg on our face, but all were fun. So we're going to do it again. Last year, we had time to think about it. This year, we don't. These questions are going to come in hot, except for the bludgers in Vegas. So they're going to get a bit of lead time to think about their answers, and we'll see how this goes. Who thinks they know what and what's going to happen. But it should be, again, like last year, a bit of fun. These predictions and futures are brought to us by Morgans at Cronulla. If you're in need of stockbroking and financial investment services, then look no further than Chris and the team down at Morgans at Cronulla. They apparently help Boldo out, and he constantly says they do a great job. Maybe they should help him with his football predictions because he's going to need all the help he can get. All right, guys. We're going to go Lats, Williams, Franko in this scenario. Why? Because I'm hosting at the moment, so that's why I'm saying we're doing it that way. So
He likes to
Lats,
steal answers.
I've learnt from Boldo. That's the only way to do it.
That's
And
the only way to
even though I can see the questions, I didn't give myself any time to read or think about the questions, not through any type of trying to be fair, but more through being time poor. So
That also sounds like something Boldo would say.
no, he wouldn't say that at all.
All I'm hearing are excuses.
There's a bit of that. There is a bit of that. All right. So we have, now I will be looking around as I write these notes down so that we've got them saved for prosperity. First wild prediction is, who is going to be our highest try scorer? Go,
Ronnie.
lads.
Ronnie. Yep.
Okay. Williams?
Yeah, I think history says Ronaldo.
All right.
It means he's had a good year. Touch wood, Ronaldo.
Franko's surely Tom Hazelton.
No, not
Mawidi
Hazelton.
Hiroti.
I mean, Stone Street has been, he's been getting more than a try a game. And so that would be pretty good if he continues that fine form and is able to get the chocolates. But theoretically, he won't be there for a full season with him getting maybe replaced by Katoa when he's healthy. I don't know. Could that affect it? But history definitely says Ronnie. I'm going to go for something different. I'm going to say Stone Street. Because, as we said last year, Ronnie's a little bit handicapped in this try scoring department without his buddy Talakai next to him. So
it didn't bother him last year, and he got a hat trick for the first time in his career against the Tigers. So he'll be fine.
All right. Well, we'll see. Okay. For the props only. Who's going to get the highest meters?
Oh, it's going to be AFB.
Mate. Has to
be.
AFB.
All right.
Pure time on ground minutes will mean AFB.
I think that's going to
We're
be a
obviously
clean
praying
sweep
for no
there.
injuries. I don't want this to be a mock like someone else put on us last year.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Then we're going to go with, instead of Tommy's tries, we're swapping to AFB's bangers. How many tries does he score?
lucky 13, mate.
13?
That's a
That's
lot.
high. That's high.
I'm going to
The beast.
say 7.
7.
And I think it's been generous. I think he will set up a lot. He will lay a platform, but I think he's trimmed down a bit. His play the ball speed is enormous, but I don't think he'll be the scored a good try against Canberra. I don't think he'll be the barnstorming guy that we think is going to score every time he touches the ball.
Okay. Two odd numbers. I don't like that. I'm going to have to come up with an even number, I think, just for my sanity.
9.5.
I think I'm going to go 8 tries. 8 tries. Surprisingly, I think I also went 8 tries with Tommy last year, and that was too low. So it's probably not good. I probably should go 12, but I'm going to go 8. And we'll see how we fare. Now, sadly for Tommy, being demoted from Tommy's tries, he's now going to be, we got to talk about how many games he's going to get. Tommy's off contract. There's a bit of a log jam. There's a bit of talent there. How many games does Tommy get this season? Go, Lats.
I'm going to go with, Tommy plays 18 games.
18 games. So
Yep.
a regular player.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going
You'll
to say
sign on.
15.
There's been a few little hints in the socials that where he's come out and said that he's going to stay loyal to the team that gave him a start, and I think Tommy signs on.
Hints in the socials. If only we had a social section that tells us these things.
Well,
They were late. They came in this afternoon.
I just read them.
Whoa. Okay, all right. Well, with that new information, I've got to say, looking at the preseason photos, Tommy is looking fit. He's looking like he's put in a lot of work and is ready to rip and tear. In the trials, I think that he made a fair bit of impact as well. Not as many minutes as he sort of did in the first half of last season, so he might be gearing up for a reduced minutes, which I think is going to be across the park for our engine room. I like it. I'm going to go with 20 games. 20 games for Hazleton. I think he's going to prove his durability and reliability, and just sort of keep on keeping on as we maybe rotate around him with, touch wood, it doesn't happen quite this way, but various injuries and niggles from the guys, and give him a bit of a rest so that we've got our strongest team ready for the end of the season.
Where do you think? Sorry, Franko. Sorry to interrupt. Where do you think that leaves Tapua? How does Tapua get a start on the team? Does he come in for Atkinson at the end of the season a bit more, or?
Yeah, I think Atkinson is going to drop off the bench. Atkinson is obviously going to the Dragons next season, so he's not really in our future. He's there as coverage for injuries, and I believe that if we have an injury mid-game, we've got enough talent on the park to be able to cover that in any position without relying on a utility on the bench. And I think that we saw last year the Sharks really came to life with 4 boppers on the bench.
A heavy bench. Yep.
A heavy bench. And we're going to do the same. And he'll get in there. And the last few seasons, it's a rough spot, right? You very rare that you get through unscathed 27 weeks. So there's going to be a bit of a rotation there between, as I said earlier, a few niggles and a few things. As people get healthy, someone else might get a bump or a bruise. And if not, then survival of the fittest. And I think that, strangely, it's been shown that there is no horses for courses in the NRL. I think that that's something that could be looked at. Tapua would be a good impact guy against this team because they're a little bit lighter, and he's got a bit more speed about him, whereas Hazleton's a bit of a better defender maybe, so we need him up against a nippy sort of team like the Titans. Yeah, I kind of feel like that would be good to chop and change, but there's egos in place, and people don't like to sit down when they're fit and healthy, raring to go. So, yeah, I think, long story short, yeah, Atkins is out, and then we'll just have the guys fight for positions.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so this is an ugly question, but I have to ask it. Boldo is forcing this question to be in here, and it's related to the streak. How long is our longest streak?
I'm going to go with 7 games.
Stole it from me.
7?
Okay, optimistic. Oh, 8.
7 and 8. Okay. Without looking at the draw, I don't quite know what's going on. I think we start off, it's a bit hard from memory, and then it tapers off in the middle and then gets hard again. Yeah.
A lot of travel at the start of the year, and then a lot of home games at the back end of the year.
All right. I reckon 6 is good. I think we're going to have a pretty good season, but I think 6 there's going to be a couple of small streaks in there, I think we'll find. Okay, now barring injuries, is there going to be any major changes from the round 1 team to the round 27 team? Similar to last year, we saw Iro come in and replace Talakai to the bench. Are we going to see anything like that this year? Anyone going to force themselves in or move people around?
No, mate, I think it's just what we were talking about before. I think it's Atkinson off the bench with Tapua in. Touch wood, no injuries. And yeah, I think it's going to be a very similar team to round 1 with maybe just a little bench change.
Boldo's not a very good lawyer. Not he's a lawyer at all with his leading questions. I think he's hoping for one of us to go. Definitely Kennedy out, Ison in. I can't quite see that happening this year. The other one, probably McInnes out and maybe a Talakai in. I can't see that happening either. I think that we'll stay as is, and only injury or suspension or other outage will prompt change.
Okay. So if both are fit and healthy, will we see the much pushed Nico and Trindle number swap?
I don't think so, mate. No.
Fitzgibbon's already addressed it.
That is a no all around. We're not a question here, but will the press drop that, or will they use that as a thread pull throughout the season whenever Trindle has a big game?
Of course they will.
Of course they will.
That's how they roll.
Brett Reed, I know you're watching.
Yeah.
That's all you've got.
Sharky,
do some research, mate.
Keep the harmony going.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Are we going to get any Origin rep players this year? And if so, who?
I'm going to go with Talakai and possibly Ramian.
I hope so.
Talakai and Ramian. Okay.
Leave our halves alone. Leave Nico alone. Let him focus on the team. I think Talakai surely gets a call up this year. He was unfair, not that he didn't get a call up last year, and I think Ramian was pretty close, and I think he'll go forward too.
Yeah, I'll second that on Ramian at least, and potentially Talakai. Ramian was very close last year, and he was a huge out in the prelim final. He was, I reckon, the form center of the competition, the back end and the finals. So hopefully he gets his just reward.
I don't think Talakai will get a call up just because of the bench scenario. I think that sort of counts against players chasing rep jerseys. I know it's not the same as it used to be. They punch out the same minutes as the starters, but yeah, I just think that's going to be against him. You're right on Rami, and he was really close getting a sniff, wasn't he, this past year? I'm going to do a left field call. I'm going to say Brayley gets a call up
Cool.
Yeah.
behind our strong pack, behind AFB. I think he's going to get to show his wares, and I think he's going to get a call up. I don't think he will be round one or game one, but I think he's going to get a go. I think
Could take him to the next level if he does. It's only a good thing.
Absolutely. Yep. So I think that's going to be good. Where do we end up on the ladder?
Mate, I'm going bold. I'm going first. We've got the team this year to.
Minor
I know we've got
premiers.
a tough run early up. I think we'll be minor premiers.
That's a big call. I like it.
Mate,
Third.
Get on it.
Third.
To Panthers and Melbourne again, just for something different.
I echo that sentiment with a third as well. But we've got a first in there, so that's pretty good. Player of the year. Who is our player of the year going to be?
I'm going to say Nico. I think Nico gets his confidence back this year. I liked what I saw from him in that trial. I know he missed a tackle on I think it was KO Weeks. That was a side tackle. I liked what I saw from him in defence, and he just looked to have his confidence back. Him and Trindle seemed to, I don't know, just gel a bit better in that game, and I think we'll see a lot from Nico this year. I think he'll be back to his best, and he'll be pushing Dally M.
I reckon, no, I'm tossing up between AFB and Nickera, and I think it'll be Nickera.
Yeah.
Hoping so.
I'm thinking Nickera. I think he continues on his strong form. So yeah, I'm going with Nickera. Assuming he's fit and healthy for the season, it's a bit of a no-brainer. I think there will be a bit of AFB hype. I think he's going to be in contention. But yeah, I think he's same with everyone else. Same with playmakers. Nickera is going to get a bit more space. He's going to find defenders needing to look at marking AFB a little bit more closely, which might give his whole running a whole new dimension. So I'm really excited to see that one. Will Kennedy re-sign?
Oh, it's a tough one, mate. It's a tough one. I think he plays the whole year at fullback. I'm 50-50 on the re-sign. I'm going to go with yes. I think he will. I think he's going to. He'll be out with a point to prove this early on in the season, just given who's breathing down his neck and the fact that he doesn't have a contract already. I think he will. I think he'll re-sign. I think we're crazy not to have him as our first choice fullback for the year. He's shown what he can do. He's fixed up his defence a lot last year, and he's safe as houses under that high ball. I think he'll re-sign with us.
Yeah, I think he'll stay on a 1 to 2 year deal, unless he gets a crazy offer from somewhere else.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a great season, and I think we're probably going to try a 1 year deal, and that might stick with his manager, a bit of back and forth, with a potential second year, something thrown in there. But I think we'll be working to try and keep him off a red hot season. Understanding you can't keep everyone, but Ison is still pretty young. I think he's still got a bit of development to go. Dykes is a bit injury prone, at least historically. So I think at this stage, keeping Williams on a small contract for 1 or 2 years is probably the right way to go.
You're signing on, are you, Williams?
Yeah, it looks like it. Number 1, jeez.
Well done.
Well, I haven't done very well at catching bombs in the past, but I can hear Boldo yelling at me now already. Yeah, William versus Williams. Kennedy made his debut against the Panthers, funnily enough, in 2019 in the the Bronson Sherry try game. Coming back.
Pretty sure I've told this story before, but I was having a chat to Matt Russell on the sideline in that game, and he had high hopes for Kennedy because he's a big fan of Bubba. He's an old man. So
yeah, is Matt Russell a Balmain Tigers fan? Is he?
I don't know about that, but certainly loves the story, and I think that was a story he was able to tell.
Yeah.
So, yep, good one. Now this one is a bit of a double barrel, I guess. It's either bold predictions or biggest news story. So the biggest news story would be an external thing, and bold predictions would be an internal thing from you yourself, I guess.
Alrighty. Bold prediction. I'm going to go back to my minor premiers call. That's my bold prediction. We're minor premiers. And the biggest news story is that Nico gets his confidence back. Sharks go all the way.
I like it.
Huge. I was going to say Nico, confidence back wins Dally M.
Dally M for Nico. And what about, is that a bold prediction and news?
Yeah, I'd say that's a bold. Yeah, both. Biggest news story.
Nice one.
Could have said something about the Leagues Club, but
we get a roof.
Said that for last year's.
Yeah. Unlikely. I'm gonna go my bold prediction, and it kind of contradicts what I've been saying so far. I think we are going to have the least number of players participate for the season. I think we're going to have great stability. So least number of players used.
I'm touching wood.
Yep, touch all the
Injuries
wood.
can decimate a season.
Sure can. Well, we've got Dally M's and minor premiers from you lot, so you need some stability for that to happen. So you want me to get true here. And then bold prediction. What's a bold prediction? I'm gonna go with. Geez, I don't know. Can't my Brayley for Origin be a bold prediction? Can I reuse that one?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That's fair.
We'll go with that. Awesome. I'll take that one. Excellent. All right. Whew. We're through.
Sweet.
Done.
So let us know in the comments, guys, what your answers to some of those are. We're just a bunch of guys having a bit of fun with this. Probably not going to get everything right, but probably going to do better than Boldo. So
Definitely.
let's see what happens there. All right. Now, there's a new supporters group starting up called the Sharkcage, looking for like-minded people to share their passion for the mighty Cronulla Sharks. One of their founders, or dare I say creators, has joined us to tell us what it's all about. So we'll just add him in here. We'll get him in, bring him across. There you are. Tim, welcome, buddy. How you going?
You're on mute, mate.
It's all right. We'll fix you
Okay.
up. There you go.
Hey.
How we going, boys?
Very
Hey, champ.
well.
Yeah, good.
Excellent. So thanks for joining us, mate, and having us a chat about what's going on. Firstly, a bit of an obvious question. Who are you guys? Who are the Sharkcage?
We are the Sharkcage, and we new supporters club, as you mentioned, for the Sharks. Just more to get some good atmosphere out there. At some home and away games, and just sort of.
So you attend both home and away games is the goal for the Sharkcage?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah. How did you become a Sharks fan?
Just growing up, the old
Growing
man
up?
and older brothers, all Sharkies fans. So I guess you got to tag along to the games as a little kid.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Comes from good stock.
Were you old enough to remember the as a supporters club quite a while ago now that Lats would be familiar with, and I met Boldo and Kelly and Lats through that, known as the CWC. Do you remember them?
Yeah, absolutely. I even talking with them at the moment with a few members of them.
Nice.
So we're sort of, I think they've dropped off the last couple of years due to reasons, but it sounds like they want to get back on board and get some big things happening at Shark Park.
Yeah.
Nice. So a new supporters base for the club.
I've been to, I'll say most definitely home games the last couple of years, and just feel like it could do a little bit better than other stadiums. Like I like to go to a few other games across the NRL, and feel like we're on the lower side of atmosphere wise. And I feel like we've got the potential definitely with that tiny stadium and the fans. They do get rowdy, so it'll be good if they can all get together.
Where are you guys situated at Shark Park?
At the moment, it's just in a GA sort of area. We're looking in front of the Monty Porter stand, just behind the goalpost.
Nice. Because I think the ground lacks a lot since the loss of the Beer Hill. So that's where the CLSC started. That's where all of the energy around the ground tended to resonate from that the northeast corner there. That's where the most beer was thrown. The shout of bull poo to keep it G-rated would come out with every call. Good. It would be horrid. And I remember distinctly seeing Wendell Saylor have an absolute shocker there back in 01. I was a lot younger. I wasn't 18 then, but I was sitting in the concourse immediately in front of the Beer Hill, and he was absolutely copping it. And it made it a great place to be a Sharks fan and a feared place to be an opposition member. We have lost that. So, yeah, good to see. I think that in front of the Monty Porter stand would be a great spot. Are you encouraging all ages and stages and everything?
Yeah, definitely all ages. All ages, definitely. From young ones coming out, and you can never be too old to have a bit of a cheer.
That's it. And you were saying too that you're looking to get out and about at away games as well. So is that kind of like a formal push for home games in the Sydney area, or are you looking at interstate as well?
A bit of both. We're going up to a little group of us going up to Brisbane, Newcastle, and Melbourne, and the Gosford game against the Rabbitohs.
Yeah,
I've got good memory. Yeah, Rabbitohs. So there's a fair few of us going up for those. But yeah, definitely for the away games in Sydney as well.
Yeah, nice. Any of you over at the Vegas game?
No, unfortunately. No. Yeah, so that was unfortunate. No one could. But that would have been awesome.
It's a big ask to get across.
Are you guys going to get together all together and watch the Vegas game?
Yeah,
somewhere around the Shire.
We're looking at Sharkies at Karilla.
Beautiful.
The club.
Good option. Good option.
Yeah, can't go wrong there. Well,
Miranda Hotel wouldn't be a bad second option.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
After you said that before, I was thinking Miranda. But no, we're definitely get amongst, and I'll put up on the Instagram so everyone will know wherever we're going if people want to join.
Yeah, nice.
So what can a fan, Sharks fan, expect to get out of becoming a part of the Sharkcage? What would you say to them to why they should join and what they're gonna learn or experience out of that?
Yeah, so everything. If you do follow mainly on Instagram that I'm putting things out on, and yeah, just at the games, before the games, we'll meet up at either a pub or the Woolaware Bay next door, and have a bit of a feed, a few drinks, and sort of head over all together, and then just to get amongst each other in the stadium and get some chance.
Will the idea be sort of start out with general admission tickets and find a spot to stand that works well for the group close to a beer line somewhere, or I don't know, as William said, maybe Family Hill, wherever works best for the group of fans. Is that the idea?
Yeah, it's definitely the idea. So, yeah, in front of the Monty Porter, those goalposts there, I reckon we'll be right in front. We'll start there, and if we find other places that we think are better, that will get more attention and get more people involved, more room and all that. So it's a bit of a progress, I reckon. This first year, we'll see sort of where it goes. I know, excited to see what comes from it.
Very exciting.
It's an awesome initiative. I made so many mates back in the CWSC, and that was awesome going to the away games, getting on the bus. How are you guys going to get to your away games?
That's why I've been talking with a few people from the CWSC, and they were saying how they used to run all the buses and that, and they want to get back into that. So we've been talking about that, and that's definitely on board sort of thing we'll get together for.
Oh, awesome.
You mentioned one of the goals is to sort of amp up the atmosphere, and Sonia here, she says, got to get the fans engaged and the supporters, fans vocals. It's not a library, it's a footy game. How will you guys do that? What are you trying to do to amp up the atmosphere? Is it just getting more people to the game, or do you have chants? What's the
a bit of everything. We've got a few chants lined up. We've got some individual players' sort of songs and chants. Sort of want to create more new Sharkies chants sort of thing, other than just the Sharkies. That's sort of, I feel like, all we got at the moment. But no, we're in the progress of it. So hopefully, come round 3, first home game, you'll be hearing us.
Sweet. And you said you're on Instagram. You're on any other social media platforms, or?
I got on the Facebook as well. But mainly through Instagram. We're posting weekly updates of meeting points and what to expect. Yeah,
fair enough.
And sounds good.
You heard some of our prediction questions. Do you have any predictions for the season ahead? Are we in for a good one? Are we
locking the Premiers tip, lads? But I think I'll be disappointed if we're not in around that top 4. I think that we should, especially the last couple of years, sort of have been progressing, and especially with AFB at the moment coming in. I think that's something we've been missing the last couple of years. So I think just looking at the trial matches, I think even looking at Tapua, he sort of looked a bit more ball playing. Hazleton, like just a bit better with maybe AFP around as well, so that would help them all the forwards.
Brilliant. Have you noticed excitement around this? You heard a lot of people sort of saying, "Yeah, this is what we want." You can see here. Someone's commented. Mazdad says, "Great to see a new group emerge and take the ball up to lead the fans." David here has said, "I predict Sharkcage to take over the NRL." It sounds like you got some of your fan base here already. And look, here you go. Tobias says, "What's Tim's thoughts on Atco to the Dragons?"
Yeah, I think that guy's a Dragons fan, so. But Atco. You have to pick one or the other, sort of Trindle, and I think Trindle end of last year shown what he can do, so he's on the spot.
Brilliant. All right. Well, it sounds really good, Tim. I suppose.
One final question: do you have a favourite Sharks player of all time?
All time.
And why is it ET?
No, it is ET, because just this morning he did follow the Sharkcage, so he's definitely.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
good.
Excellent.
Now, mate, that shirt you're wearing, is that your supporter shirt?
Yeah. So I sort of
that looks awesome.
That is so good.
That's mad. How good's that? Homage to the old logos. So good.
Yeah, I have to.
Old NRL logo. How good.
Well, that's brilliant. Yeah, it sounds like a great setup. How do people get in touch? How do they join up? Is there anything else you're looking for to help establish the supporters group, that you're looking for people of particular skill sets or anything to give you a hand? What's the next steps? It's
been awesome that I've had, after making this just with a group of mates and sharing it on all the Facebook pages of all the Sharks groups, had just random sort of Sharks fans messaging me, this is awesome. If you guys need an extra hand to get the word out, I'm all here. And I think that's just what it is. It's sort of word of mouth until round 1, I guess.
Yeah, right.
So much I feel
is there any fee for joining, or is it just jumping on the socials and be part of a community?
That's it. Just jump on the socials. Sharkcage.sc supporters club. Sort of just to get around all together, pre-game and in the game.
Yeah, it's
That's awesome.
Awesome, mate. As I second what Lat said before, my favourite memories are actually away games. Shark Park is fantastic, but some of the times where we go away and you get a good bunch of Sharks fans together and own an opposition venue, even though there might only be, I don't know, 50, 100, 200, up to, let's say, 1,000 of you there in a insert random hostile location, and you just own it. It is one of the great feelings, and it brings it to that more. We're not talking Green Street hooligan style, but English Premier League style. Get that atmosphere there, and that rivalry. It's great because being an away fan at an opposition location, as we've all done on many occasions, being only in small groups, it's not a particularly pleasant experience, especially if the score's not going well. But being in an away group, it's fantastic. So I'll take my hat off to you. It's great stuff.
Yeah, we've had a few. I had one person message me from Melbourne. They
Cool.
and they added me to their little Melbourne supporters club of Sharks fans, and so they're keen to when we go down in June, I think middle of June, go down and yeah, bring the cage there, take the cage.
Nice.
That's going to be excellent. So sharkcage.sc, that's on Instagram. Is that on anything else? TikTok, Facebook? Where are we looking?
Facebook just at the moment as well. I think it's just Sharkcage.
Okay.
Go through that and find the logo of it, but mainly through Instagram at the moment.
Brilliant. All right. So Nathan here says Sharkcage needs more volunteer sign holders. We're gonna have big signs or flags. Is that what we're looking at?
Feeding Franzo.
Made a few up at the moment. So let's get them out for you.
Oh, exciting.
There we go.
I don't know if you can.
Oh, how good.
Oh,
I got a glimpse.
That's
I got a glimpse.
Talakai, the tank engine.
there you go. Heinz beans.
Ah,
How good.
I like it.
That's mad.
They're quality.
That's awesome. Great stuff. mate.
So
And
Oh,
got
that's hectic.
a nice flag as well with Sharkcage that we'll be holding up.
Nice.
So that's where it'll be easy to find us as well.
Spot you guys. Yeah, good.
This is holding that up.
for the audio listeners, yeah, Tim just showed us a bunch of pretty high quality looking signs of Heinz, Talakai, Adam Fanua Blake. And if there's anything we know, television coverage love signs and love movement in the crowd. So I'm sure they will hone in on those if you get those up and about at various games. So good luck, and hopefully you get a big, nice community. I think, Sharks fans definitely love their football. So keep an eye out for Sharkcage. And if you're interested in getting together with some like-minded people, check them out on the socials and go and head out to a game and make some new friends. If not, you're not joining with friends already, but it should be good fun, as Lats and Williams have said, and can probably regale you with stories until the end of time about how much fun they had in their various supporter groups in the past. I think it's certainly a worthwhile endeavour. Even if you don't get to the games with them, you've got that community aspect, and I think if it goes the way you want it to, Tim, surely there'll be other ways to catch up and contribute for the group.
Absolutely.
Brilliant, mate. Well, thank you very much for that. Really appreciate having you on.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Awesome, buddy.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, mate.
That's the Sharkcage, guys. So you loved the CWSC. Am I telling a joke? Am I lying?
Not a word of a lie. Loved it.
There you go.
It's good fun.
All right.
Awesome.
So maybe this is
Can't remember
this is the
most of
second
it. But
coming.
it was, I think it was those half empty beers that they used to serve on the bus. That I think they were factory seconds, but I think they were the Baron lagers. But
Baron, they were indeed.
I think they had the full amount of alcohol, but just half the amount of beer. So, yeah, no, it was good times on the bus, singing the chants on the way to the games. How like the Canberra trips, all that. It was awesome. Awesome to be a part of. Meet plenty of friends and that are into all the same stuff. So,
yeah,
lovely, awesome. All right. Well, I guess from there, we've got nothing else to talk about. Thanks very much, Lats, Williams. Great show as usual.
Thanks,
Lovely
Franko.
enthusiasm.
Stellar job at host.
Well, I'm doing my best. We're sort of thrown in the deep end here, I think, but we get there. It's made easy when you guys are here to help me. Now, if you missed it, Boldo and Kelly did an interview with Ryan Hoffman, who, it pains me to say, was an absolute champion bloke, given his time and honest appraisal of the cap scandal years and, of course, his thoughts on the Sharks. So go check it out. You'll find it in our YouTube channel and upload it on our various audio channels. On Friday, we get a bonus episode. I'll be honest, I'm not sure if it's our Friday or Vegas's Friday, but there will be an extra episode. So again, if you subscribe, you'll be notified and when and where. So looking forward to Boldo and Kelly live at the scene, where we'll hear, among other things, their predictions. And then, of course, we'll have our debrief episode after the match on Sunday, where, again, Boldo and Kelly will be joining us for their take on the game and the atmosphere live at the ground. If you missed us live, drop your answers to the predictions below, or jump on that Discord channel and pop them in there. We'd love to see how fans are feeling about the year ahead. There's a lot of excitement. You know, we've seen one person already throw up their prediction of a minor premiership. Another one throw up a Dally M winner. It's certainly going to be a cracker of a season if either of those come true. So we're in for a good one. Thanks again, Lats. Thanks, William. Thanks, everyone, for listening. It's been a great show, and I cannot wait for the season ahead.
For over 50 years, people have come to see the Sharks play. Talent, skill, speed, intelligence, elite level athleticism. That's not these guys. Biased, one-eyed, opinionated, more often wrong than right. They make up for their complete lack of talent with pure dribble, gibberish, and enthusiasm. This is the ET Stand Podcast.